again. It's a ranch thing.
It's on! Headed out to the gym today. It's been like, I don't know, 6 months? Well, I mean, since the COVID shutdowns have started and all that other junk. But yeah, I just decided today to get back to the gym because it's been so long, and because of the fact that I haven't worked out and been doing eating a lot of crap and stuff like that, I just said, okay, time to head out. Hopefully I don't die over there today. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna start off slow, probably a couple probably half hour or so on the treadmill on a slow pace, or on the elliptical, or even on the recumbent bike. I'm not gonna do any weightlifting now because I know I'll be sore as heck tomorrow. Okay. I need a double cheeseburger. No, man. Yeah, this is actually feels pretty good. Half hour working out. I'll bump it up to an hour. Oh yeah. It actually feels pretty good. You know, getting out, doing some cardio for about 30 minutes. Get that blood pumping, yeah. But I feel good, you know, so hope I survive this round. Like I say, I'll kind of bump it up, you know, over the course of a week or so, a couple of weeks, because I'm not sure how many days I'm going to be able to come in. It used to come like 5 days a week, but now it might only be like 3 maybe. If not, I might bump it up to coming in the evenings. But, you know, little by little, and that's just my personal vlog for my workout for the day. After, let's see, May, June, July, August, September, October, 8 months. Wow. Yeah, I still feel good. So I pulled off the fuel rail, and like I was telling you, I didn't even have, I mean, I had a couple of them to tighten down, but look at these ones. Just loose. I'm not even sure if I have any on the bottom. I'm going to completely take it off, though, and it's a good thing I took apart everything. I found, I'm just going to, and this was kind of like in the back of my head about getting brand new injectors. These are the old injectors that I pulled off the engine. And like I said, they've been sitting for so long. I took, upon closer inspection, found that this one is actually cracked down here at the bottom. I'm not sure if I can buy this stuff new, but like I say, I just need to get new injectors, I think. So I'm pretty sure I don't know, they were either damaged or something like that when I pulled them off. I just need to figure out what injectors I need. Basically all of the internals on this engine are stock. I would like a little bit of adjustability as far as how much, I mean, I can adjust how much fuel is going in through the regulator, but I want to have that convenience of either adding more fuel or less fuel. I don't need these heavy-duty injectors because I'm not running turbo setup or anything like that. It's all naturally aspirated with stock internals. And so I'm going to do a little homework and see what I need for a stock engine, basically. Finally got off the intake manifold. When I pulled it off, I saw this. And I've already kind of looped it right here. But there was a coolant port that goes out right here, as well as one that's coming out right here. I can do one of two things. I can do that, what I just did, loop it around, or the other side, I have basically I have 3 ports, this one here and then the other 2. I could fill this one in. That way I only have this one looping around going back into the thermostat housing. Or I can fill in the one in the thermostat housing like I did with the other hole. I can't even remember what that port was for. I think it was for the heater core or something like that. But I filled it in with the aluminum welder because I didn't need it anymore. And you can't even tell where I filled it in. Oh, right, like right here somewhere. So I can fill this one in, and that way this one loops up to the intake manifold. But it would probably be easier to have this one right here instead of trying to connect it back up to this guy. Now I could just use the TIG welder to fill in that hole, and that way I don't even need it anymore. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. Alright, so this is, I decided just to seal up all these holes. You know, before I was kind of just, I don't know, just being lazy, wanting to put this kind of like that, kind of loop it around. But yeah, this cleans it up, takes off this hose. I also sealed up the other outlet that's on the intake manifold, as you just saw, because I don't have any place to hook that one up, so I just decided just to use the TIG welder and clean it up just like I did this guy. And so that cleans up that, and all I have now is the hose that goes from here up to the intake manifold. Alright, so I got all of the bolts installed and tightened down. And then I put a small kind of bead around that opening for the coolant that goes through here, right there, on both sides of the thermal gasket. So all I have to do is wait for the injectors to come in to install those, and for that small silicone hose that I ordered to connect these two guys up together. These ones here are sealed off, as well as the one down there. And everything is hooked up. New gasket is installed on the throttle body. I did pull this off so I could trace the power wire from right here to make sure it's going to the igniter, and it is. So I got power going into that. And on the bottom of, there's 3 studs that I left on there because I figured it'd be easier to mount the intake manifold and the gasket without it kind of flopping everywhere. I bought these guys. I've got 5 of these ones. These are titanium nuts and black anodized that I used for the bottom. So you really can't even see them, but I wanted them black so they could kind of blend in. On the top I used all of the cup washers and stainless steel bolts to mount the intake manifold. Like I said, I just got to wait for the other parts to come in so I could finish assembling this part. And I don't know, try it again and see if that might have been the problem. Well, wouldn't you know it, after 8 months I finally take my ass over to the gym to work out. It's only been a week that I've been doing this, and last night I heard that they're imposing the restrictions again. They're shutting down all non-essential businesses. So that means the gym is closed for another 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know what to say anymore. So yeah, I just came from the mail. The injectors just left Albuquerque, which is about 2.5 hours from here. And usually when I get a notice or notification that they've been sent from Albuquerque, I usually get it the same day. So hopefully, today's Saturday, they close at noon. I'm hoping that I'll go like about 11:30 and they'll be there. If not, I'll have to wait till Monday. So on Saturday, was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. Today's Monday. It was just really windy. This whole place was shaking, going crazy. I had to come back and strap all kinds of stuff in. I came in, double-checked everything. I just opened the door to come and work on the car, and I see this, which used to be up there. These things are off. This thing fell right there. And obviously this was rubbing on this thing here because this happened as well. Looks like it fell on that one too. Oh God, I hate this frickin' wind. It's like this piece, if you look at it on the outside, is almost broken off. That's how windy it was. So it's like, man, you just can't win here. Oh my God. Anyways, I'm going to clean up this crap and see what I got to do. I mean, all that stuff can be touched up. It's just pain in the ass stuff that I shouldn't be having to do. I mean, I have a lot more crap that I got to deal with anyway, so. But anyways, back to what I was going to talk about. These finally came in. Like I say, today's Monday. Checked all day on Saturday. Of course, they never came in. So, yeah, injectors are in. Hopefully, they're the right ones. Hopefully, everything fits. Hopefully, everything goes without... they get installed without any problems. I'm going to go ahead and pop in these injectors. Make sure, first off, that they're the right ones before I go and start doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Make sure they fit. make sure I don't break them putting them on, and then we'll crank it over and see what happens. Alright guys, so I hooked up the injectors. It was kind of a pain in the ass because they were a little bit longer towards the end. I'll show you on these older ones. Like right here, this area right here was a little bit longer, so I kind of had to push it in really hard to get it into the seat into that O-ring that's right there. But I got them on, tightened everything on, and they plugged up good. Hooked up the fuel, tried it, and it basically did the same thing. I've been doing this for about, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half or so, and it turns over and does the same thing. You know, it sounds like it's about to start, and then it just cuts out. And I've pulled off the plugs out of the engine several times just to make sure there's fuel in them, making sure everything is good. Spark, we've checked that before on the last video. I thought that number 3 didn't have, but as I watched the video again, you could see that it did have a spark on there. So I know all the plugs have spark going to them, and I pulled off, as you just saw before, the cap and checked to make sure there was power running to the igniter and to the coil, so that was good. I've had a couple of people mention grounds, so I hooked up, just to let you know which grounds I do have connected. I have this one here hooked up to the starter, to the body of the vehicle right there. This is the ground that goes to the harness, and just in case I was missing something, I put a wire from here to the housing of the thermostat, and then there's another ground that goes from right here on the valve cover down to the body. There's another ground, or several different grounds on the inside of the chassis, hooking up this control box that goes to right there. Of course, there's the main ground right there. Yeah, I think, and I gotta probably do a little bit more homework on it. I gotta figure out what all of these wires are to. Initially, I thought that they were just wires that went up to the gauge cluster, but no. Some of the wires actually go, like the ones that I have cut right there. One was for the coil, one was for the starter signal, one was for something else. I don't remember what it was, but I'm suspicious that one of these wires goes connected to something, and for the life of me, I cannot find any diagrams for this plug. Let me start it up again, or try to start it up again, and show you what it's doing. So you can see it kind of looks like it's about to start, but then it just cuts off. So it does that. It just keeps doing that. There's just something missing. Either a ground, the ECU, something that's not letting me start this engine, and I just don't know what it is anymore. I did button up, like you just saw, all of the bolts on the intake manual, Oh my god, I'm just at a loss for words now. So the manifold, yeah, the intake manifold, I have everything buttoned up. I buttoned up, or I put the new seal on the throttle body. Every hole that's on this intake manifold, is completely sealed. So there's, there's no air leaks going, to mess with the airflow, ratio, or air fuel ratio, sorry. But like I say, I've been doing this now for a couple of hours now, and I'm really about to give up for today because I don't know what to do anymore. I could probably look at more wiring, I guess. Alright, so I just took a small break, had some dinner. I've been working on this car now for a few hours with no start. And I was watching some videos while I was eating dinner, and come across a video where the guy swapped out the distributor and was having problems starting it, and then came back and he checked his firing order was wrong. So I thought, well, wow, maybe that's it. So I ran outside here and I checked the firing order, and everything's fine. Yeah, it's the firing order's correct. And so yeah, it's again, I'm at a standstill. I'm gonna try one more thing. I'm gonna increase the pressure on the regulator, going to the fuel. Had somebody else say something if the order of the injector plugs was wrong, but they're all correct because each one is numbered. And this one is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they're all correct. Alright, so I'm sitting here going through just as much information that I can try and get on the starting system of this vehicle, because I'm at a loss right now. I basically checked all the wiring diagrams, and also have gone through the manuals of the fuel system and the ignition system. And there's one thing I want to try. I want to try checking to see if there's power going to the injectors, even though I do smell fuel on the spark plugs when I pull them off. There should be more, because I have that fuel pressure cranked up all the way. And so I should be getting some fuel in there. I double checked the ignition again to make sure I got spark, and spark is just, it's there. Something should be happening. So yeah, I'm going to go through all that again, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I say, I'm here at work and I'm kind of shut down right now. So I'm just kind of going through all this stuff to see if I could figure out what I'm missing. And so hopefully when I get back home, I can figure all this out. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, back to the video. So they're all correct. And so yeah, that's not a problem. The timing, I've set several times, put it to top dead center, made sure everything was lined up. So I know it's not the timing. I even swapped out the ECU. Somebody said something about, getting the ECU and putting it on another engine. I don't have another engine to put it on, but I did have another ECU. So I swapped out the ECU for the Honda one. That ECU is the original one that came with this engine. So I know it was working. Of course, it's been sitting for years and years. But I cleaned it up, and it did the same thing. It would kind of rev up and then look like it was about to start, and then it would die off again. So yeah, I don't know what to do anymore. It's I got the battery charging again because the it died down. I'm going to go ahead and check all the fuses on that distributor block. Make sure none of them are burned out. And I don't know, tomorrow I'm going to go into work and check all the wiring again and see if I can find out which one of those wires on that plug go, I don't know, to something that's missing. They did reinstate the COVID-19 mandate that all non-essential businesses have to shut down, and that includes my store. So basically I'm shut down, but I have a sign on the window saying, you know, to call if they want to, you know, talk to me, or because I can still do custom orders, I just can't have the store open. And so yeah, that's one thing that's kind of a bummer right now, but I left a little bit early today to do this. So hopefully tomorrow I'll go in and then just check all the wiring again, and hopefully I can find the right combination. I don't know, because it's kind of tricky when it comes to these newer cars. You know, if you were an older car where you just had, you know, carburetor with you know, just no computer running the car, it'd be almost easier to try and figure this out. But when you have a computer running multiple functions on an engine like this, yeah, it gets really tricky. So hopefully this week is going to be a really nice week according to the weather forecast, so I'll be able to work on the car while we have the shutdown for the next 2 weeks, and see if I can figure this out. All right, back at the store, at the shop, I mean. I can't even get things straight anymore. But so I don't know why I didn't think about this, because I usually do it with the ruckus and all the other stuff that I work on, but I just the thought never crossed my mind. And so I decided to go ahead and bring the starting fluid, and that is one way I'm going to kind of diagnose or troubleshoot the if the injectors aren't working. Now, if I spray that stuff inside the throttle body, if it starts, you know, and keeps on going for a little bit, then maybe it's the power not getting to the injectors, or some a signal. So, you know, I could turn on the power and check and see if it's getting, you know, power to it and stuff like that. But this is kind of like one of the ways that you can troubleshoot it. Dang, that was close. It's on! It's running! Holy crap! After 10 years, Okay, I'm waiting for any knocks, any grinding or anything. Ah! Oh my God. Ah. It's running. I don't want to let it run too much because there's no coolant in there. So I don't want it to overheat. Header's getting hot. But it sounds really good. I don't hear any grinding. I don't hear any, you know, no knocking. It's really quiet. Alright, I'm going to turn it off. Well, my friends, I got it started and celebrated a little bit too soon. I mean, nothing blew up or anything like that, but decided to try it again, to start it up again, and it wouldn't start. And then I tried you know, different things. It still wouldn't start, so decided to do a compression test. So I use, you know, pressure tester, and cylinder 1 and 4 about 125, within the normal range. Cylinder number 2 was at 90, and number 3 was at 60. So that might be why it was not wanting to start. So yeah, kind of like at a crossroads right now on what I should do. I don't know, get a new bottom end or long block, and then just swap all the parts. Rebuild this engine, because it's going to be about the same, because I'll probably end up going, you know, high-end stuff on, you know, on the bottom end, and then high-end I have to rebuild all that too. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure out and see how much this is going to cost. Alright, so here we are. Went ahead and pulled the head off to take a look at the internals there and see what the heck is going on. And I don't see I don't know. I don't see anything. Wait a minute. There is, I don't know if you guys can see that, down at the bottom, there seems to be, I don't know, where water was sitting or something like that. I did do the compression test one more time just before I took this off, just to make sure that the fitting was loose, wasn't loose or anything like that on the compression tester, and it still read 60. So yeah, that seems a little strange to me down there at the bottom. don't know if you guys can see it. Let me see that down at the very bottom. Yeah, that might be what's doing it. Which means I need a new block, because the head seems perfect. There's no scoring. There's on the underside, all the valves look good. There's nothing wrong with the head. And the cams look really good too. So I think that might be the problem. I was hoping that all I needed to do was put rings. You know, if that's the case down at the bottom, that means I'd have to re-sleeve the whole block. I don't know. Like I said, I just, still the same day, you know, after all this happened, but, and it's starting to get late, so I'm just going to go ahead and stop for the day, I guess, and see what else I need to do.